Getting nice and snug and comfy here.
Sounds good.
All right, you ready to go live?
Yeah, I'm
It's
ready.
go time. All right, guys, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Another episode of the Not So Fucking Ordinary Show where I'm taking the time to interview extraordinary people. These are individuals who I think are excelling in athletics, entrepreneurship, corporate world, fitness, etc., etc. Before I introduce this guest to my left, I want to let you guys know that today's show is sponsored by Fit to Give. Fit to Give is providing the world's #1 shaker bottles. They're stainless steel on the inside, and they're #1 not only because of the quality, but they're giving back to good causes. Most specifically, we're providing funds to people who need higher quality water, nutrition, as well as education throughout the world. So Fit to Give, you can visit the online store at fittogive.org. But with no further ado, Daniel Okon. How we doing, my man?
Good to be here. Yeah, I'm
Did I get that last name proper?
Close.
Really?
Well, okay. So our dad. So you had my sister on the podcast.
Yep.
And so our dad is originally from Nigeria.
Okay.
So in Nigeria, you say Okon,
Okay.
but growing up here, we just say Okon.
Okay. See, when I was interviewing your sister, I said Okon. And then I asked her if I pronounced it properly. She said, a cone. So I thought, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to impress Daniel by saying a cone. Now I say a cone.
He said it right.
A giant, man.
He said it right. It's just, it's yeah.
All right. When in Rome, or when in Nigeria, I suppose.
Yeah. But if you talk Nigerian, you have to say
All right.
cone.
All right. That's good to know. That's good to know.
You get your head chopped out. So no.
Well, cool. Let's dive into this a little bit. As I mentioned, do you go by Dan or Daniel?
Daniel.
Daniel, perfect. So Daniel's here. I want to pick apart his brain. He's what I would call a serial entrepreneur, or better yet, I think that title is getting a little played out. So let's think of maybe independent businessman. How's that? Does that work for you?
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna dive into what Daniel does for a living, how he produces income, how he supports himself, and we'll go from there. So Daniel, question number 1. When someone asks you, what do you do for a living, how do you describe it?
Well, a lot of times when I'm like, it's hard to explain because whenever you have different businesses and different forms of income, you kind of try to explain as well as you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as easy as saying, well, I work at this company and do this and this and this, because normally for me it's like I wear a lot of different hats. So I started a couple different companies, and I started a couple before, and started them, failed, and I've learned a lot. So in terms of what do I do, I mostly focus on business development, and then I also focus on business growth and then team growth in terms of adding people to the team, whether it's whatever company is I have, and then usually with strategic development. So for one company, it's really working on a client-based basis, so helping clients understand how to get from $200,000 one year to getting the $2 million mark, and then and beyond.
What business is that?
So we work with e-commerce companies. So Active Launch is a business we help companies grow their e-commerce revenue as well as their online business revenue. So if they have digital products or physical products, we help them essentially scale and grow their income through our systems. We build out sales funnels, we build out ads, we do all that fun stuff.
Okay.
You scroll through Instagram, you may not see our ads, but we do stuff like that.
Okay.
So if you click on it, you go through that whole journey of purchasing. We create that process.
So a lot of paid social.
Yes.
A lot of different sales funnels.
Yeah, a lot of sales funnels, email marketing, all that fun stuff. I actually got fascinated when I started this company with my sister, which you had her on, and we started a online fitness company, and it actually kind of came out of her. She grew her Instagram following, and she was doing it for fun, really, and also because she was competing, inspiring other people. And I said, you should do something, about this. People are always reaching out to her, and so that's we went down that path of starting that business, and I started diving into different people who really understood the online marketing business. So Russell Brunson,
ClickFunnels,
okay. Like Grant Cardone, people, and I started learning and really enjoying understanding those things and understanding how can I utilize what I'm learning from these people to utilize it in the business I am helping grow. And then I really enjoyed it, and eventually a lot more people were asking me questions and reaching out to me, and so that's kind of how Active Launch was created in the realm of, well, all these people are asking me, but I'm sitting here having coffee all the time and really giving out free information, which I'm happy to do. But it got to the point where it was like, well, I'm helping all these people and I'm bringing them to help build their businesses, but I don't really have any structure behind it. They just saw I'm successful in this other company I've helped grow. What is this going to look like? So that's kind of what I do. I would say, like, overall, I focus on business development. My mastery goal is really getting a better understanding, deep understanding of online businesses and e-commerce, and helping scale and grow those type of businesses.
Okay.
Yep.
So with all that said, what do you think is your personal number one skill? Is it the marketing piece? Is it the sales piece? Is it the e-commerce? What do you think that is?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think it's really the strategy and setup of strategies that will produce results. So, and implementing those. So having, a lot of times, like, you could have a great idea. Like, somebody could have told you they had an idea of this specific shaker cup and said, I want it to look like this, but nothing could have happened. They could have been like, this is an amazing idea. People have ideas about shit all the time.
Execution, right?
Yeah, it's all about execution. So I think that my skill sets and what I'm building is the ability to have great ideas that may fail, but some of them will succeed, and then kind of pairing that with execution and having the right people in place and putting the right people in place, with the right skill sets to actually, see that come to fruition, essentially.
Okay. So this is good. I want to bring as much value to the people watching. I know a lot of people that follow me or my show and you are either current business people looking to break past current plateaus and they want to scale their business, or they're an individual who might have that idea, but they don't know how to actually take that first step.
Yeah.
Whether it's fear or they just don't know what to do next. Let's talk a little strategy here. Let's pretend, let's say I come in with these shaker bottles and I say, Daniel, I need your help, man. I don't know what to do. I don't know if my marketing is good enough. I feel like I need to increase my sales, or I don't know if my inventory is matching demand well enough, like yada, 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 yada. When someone comes to you like that, what do you do? Do you do a complete assessment of the current business? Do you do some form of a strategy session that entails you utilizing a preset template that you've used across all your businesses? A little ClickFunnels here, a little Grant Cardone here, a little this, and you try and see, okay, they're doing well with this, they're not doing. Kind of walk me through the process of day one, stranger comes in, they need help. What do you do?
Yeah. So we do a full assessment, which you're correct on that. A lot of times, there's a lot of businesses who I kind of equate it to, if you're bringing in eyes, so first off, you have to have traffic. So wherever that traffic comes from, that's Instagram, social media, you have to build an audience, which is the most important. But to build an audience, you have to have a great product that people actually love. So once we look and see, okay, they have a product people love, they are raving fans, because you're going to have a product people love no matter what type of industry, whether it be in technology and actual physical products. It's a place you go to eat, you're going to likely fail. You got to fix it. You got to make it better and better. Once you have that, you have a product that really works, then there's the question of, okay, do you have traffic that's coming through? And then you start looking at, where's that traffic pathway going? Because they're taking steps, and it's not linear. There's lots of things out there that share, people will watch a YouTube video, then they'll go on reviews, and they'll go through all these different steps. But what we found is a really solid for example, sales page that brings traffic through, and if you funnel people through that, you can actually touch on so many of these different items, including reviews, including videos, including the benefits, all those things. And what you're seeing companies crush in the e-commerce world is, at least in a lot of places like that, is you're having one place where people are coming through and being convinced that this is the winning product. And so we look at that customer journey, which there's a lot of touch points, not just a sales funnel. You have emails, you have social media content. So you have all these different touch points that you want people taking step by step to ultimately get to the place where like, I'm gonna purchase from you, and I feel like I'm getting value from you enough to actually take that next step. And so that's what we do, and that's what we do really well is, okay, do you have a great product? No? Make it better. You have a great product people love? Yes? Okay, what's the next step? Do you have traffic? No, we don't. You gotta get traffic. Okay, fix the traffic problem. This traffic, they're coming through, but they don't know where to go. Okay, they have to be having a curated customer journey so that you're actually, because the best businesses, you look at, even go to a grocery store, they know how to set everything up to optimize every single step of the way the purchasing. So they know, okay, they're gonna come in, grab their produce, go around. Okay, in the outside of the grocery store, you have all these things, but in the middle, where a lot of traffic is coming, that's where a lot of the money makers are. And then at the end, their upsell is candies, chips, is all the stuff that people impulsively buy that their margins are insane on. And so you think about what are the different steps that people take, and how can you make this business optimize for that, and then increase from there. And then you just, how much traffic can we bring through so we can make this company more profitable. So that's kind of,
I love it. That's a super powerful overview. And so when you're driving traffic to a particular site for your clients, are you trying to drive to one particular site, whether it's a Shopify site or an Amazon account, or what's the other one, a Wix account? Or do you recommend multiple websites to drive traffic to and then get those people to go down different lanes? Or is it one primary single website that you're trying to funnel all of this attention and traffic to and then convert there? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So what I think about is how, until you get to a certain amount of revenue, you shouldn't be focusing on anything else other than getting to that spot. So you want as much traffic, as much people going and purchasing a core product or products. So you want a really curated pathway until you get to that, I see it as a $1 to $2 million mark. You're really wanting that pathway to be there. Obviously, there's things like a value ladder, so more products and higher price products depending on what you're selling. But that's the most important thing in my eyes. So when you're talking about bringing people through, I still think there's two things that people should be focusing on, especially as the importance is on, and I think it's an email list. So essentially a list that you have gathering potential buyers or people who've purchased, and then so you need something capturing that front end, and then you need that sales page for your core product that people love, so that you're bringing people through that. There's different ways you can do it. There's different pages. It could be a website. You can have it all set up on there. It could be ClickFunnels, it could be Shopify, but you want to make sure that you're not having, I call it, holes in the bucket. So whatever you're doing, however people are getting there and where they're getting to, you want that experience to be incredible. You want them to be convinced that this is the unique product that I love and I need. And in terms of e-commerce, is in terms of a digital product or physical product, you want people to get to this place where they're like convinced. And whether they leave and you can retarget and bring them back, that's fine. And maybe you bring them back to the same page or something similar to help them make that choice. But that's what I've seen work well with our clients and work well with our own internal process, as well as what companies I see have been successful too.
What has been the most powerful tactic for driving eyes to that website? Is it creating a social media account, having quality content and posting often, or is it having a social account where you're posting every so often, but most importantly, creating those paid ads and driving that way, or a mixture of the both across all platforms? Kind of tell me about the thought process and the strategy behind getting those eyeballs and what it means across social.
What I see is, unless you have a really big following, unless you're at crazy high amount of followers that you can generate a good amount of traffic, and even then
10K, 20K, 50K,
I'm talking
100K,
about
200K,
200,000 or more.
Okay.
And you have to have a high engagement. Even then, without like, people are with the Instagram algorithm, so that's real. And Instagram and Facebook owns Instagram. All of the different platforms understand that more organic reach is not good for their business. Because in the end, it doesn't matter if it's going to be a year, 2 years, 5 years. Yeah, there's ways that you can hack things, and TikTok, you can get, right now engagement can be good, but in the end, they're going to want you to pay to get views, to get engagement. That's just not a question. So I think being in a good spot in understanding how to run paid ads, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, whatever it's going to be, understanding that YouTube is an incredible return on investment. You want to get in the place where you're doing that and doing it well, and you don't have to have thousands of dollars to run ads. You just need to, as long as it's $1 that you pay and $2 back, or 3 or 4 or 5, you're making money.
Right.
So that's the most important in my eyes in terms of traffic and eyeballs. Yes, content, consistent content is essential now. It's like the baseline. And then good content is also essential in the baseline. And the next level is, are you running ads that actually convert people to customers? Because that's where intent is. So if you can get people, and what we're seeing is video ads convert the best in click-through rates and stuff like that. And if you get engaging video ads that people really engage with, whether they swipe up in stories and feeds or whatever you're looking at, Google ads, you're going to want to make sure that people are getting engaging type of content that really convert. And I really think it's paid ads that you want to do as well as possible.
And when you say engaging content, let's say you take a product, I'll continue to reference this because it's the only thing nearby. When you say engaging content, when you're trying to create that content, are you trying to focus on, I feel like I know the answer, I'm just curious to know your thoughts. Do you focus on the product features, the benefits, a stainless steel, twist on cap, finger loop, window, like all that stuff? Or are you more or less trying to subliminally product place within content that is aesthetically pleasing to the viewer, and so they consciously and subconsciously see the product and there's some sort of call to action that they don't know about, and that's the path. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you want them to feel,
they don't want to feel like they're being sold.
Yeah, they want to feel
like
you want them to feel like, I need that in my life because that's how I view what my life can be like. Whatever that looks like, there's different ways that you can have people feel like they're missing out on something. There's a lot of different ways that you can have that offer, place, and in a sense of, it's more than, like features and benefits. Oh, cool, this can do this for you. How's it going to change my life? How is this going to make my life easier? How's this going to, because it's about me. Like, in the end, I truly believe that, there's unselfish people out there, but most people are thinking about themselves almost 99% of the time. Maybe less than that, maybe 97. But I truly think that if you are really, you're scrolling through Instagram or whatever you're doing, they're looking for likes, looking for this, what are the things that are going to help them with status? Help them, I think it's the 7 or 8 needs with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, you have to speak to those things. If you do that well, whatever type of section you kind of pick, then people are going to be drawn to that. Not so much like, hey, this has a sealed top or whatever. Like it's cool, but 100 other things have a sealed top too.
Yep.
I'm not going to make any decisions off of that. So that's what I would say.
I like that. I just wanted to pick your brain. I felt like I knew how you were going to answer it, but wanted everyone to hear.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's cool. So Remind everyone the name of your business.
Active Launch.
Active Launch.
Yes.
So you have all these clients, you're helping all these businesses reach their goals.
Yep.
What is Active Launch's goals?
Active Launch's overall goal is to help 100 businesses hit $5 million in revenue within the next 5 years.
Okay.
So that's, we're starting to get a good amount of traction with the beginning of those goals, but the goal is to really help scale that many businesses to that place.
Okay.
So
are a majority of your current clients based in the Minneapolis area, or are they throughout the country?
Some of them are throughout the country. So we have clients in California, and Minnesota, and Arizona, East Coast. So
okay.
it just depends on the type of client and what we're kind of working with them on.
Okay.
So.
Tell me the different type of mix of these clients. Primarily in fitness, primarily in yada yada yada.
Yeah. So we have some probably 40% are in the fitness space.
Okay.
40 to 50% are in the fitness space, and 30%.
I'm going to interrupt you there
Yeah.
because if I don't ask now, I'm going to forget. So when you say fitness space, fitness products or fitness influencers trying to grow their own personal brand?
Mostly, it's kind of, we start off with the fitness influencers, and the goal is to help them get to a place where they're selling products and building a really good business that is product based versus, because you have a lot of even my business I co-own with my sister, Okon Fitness. It's a lot of coaching. It's online coaching. And over the last 6 months, the goal has been to really start building out the products that can scale and grow, because there's changes that can happen with technology, and there's only so much you can do and scale some businesses up to a certain point, especially service-based businesses. Yes, you can do it pretty well, but it takes a lot of manpower, and when you have a lot of people involved, things can get a little crazy. Right. So the goal is really to help get the right products, whether that be digital or physical, in a place where you can sell and scale that, and there's not a lot of friction in terms of having to deal with customer service or having to deal, because in the end, I think almost all of us want financial freedom. So in my eyes, I want to live a life where I can make as much money as I possibly can, help as many people as I can, and I believe that the people that I work with, I want them to live that life too. So sometimes when you're making more money, how you make that money and what you're selling is actually even more important, because you can make $1 million in a year, and if you're having crazy headaches every single day because of bad product or services or whatever that looks like, because you have to deal with that, it's probably not worth it. In my eyes, like, you have this dream of having a business, and you grow a business, and then you're aging like quickly because you're like if I had pull my hair out, and like those are things that like I don't want people to live their lives like. I want people to live their lives loving what they do, enjoying life, being creative or whatever they love doing, especially in the business world, and build something incredible for their lives where they're not tied to like, oh God, I have to wake up and do this. Because even though we say like, oh, love what you do, in entrepreneurship, I think people can get burned out by things and find that they're like stuck in a place where they thought it was going to be amazing, but they turned out to be absolutely not amazing. So the goal is really to help people live that, and it's fun to see when people are starting to be like, I'm making good money, I'm less headaches, I love this, and I'm actually able to serve the people that I want to serve, and I'm happy about it. That's so getting back to the question about fitness,
you're fine, go on.
That's what we've done, and we found to do well in that space, and understand the fitness part of things well, but also understand the business side of how we can scale and help companies do that.
Okay. So are you continuously trying to find synergies between this set of clients that you have now and this set of clients now? Meaning, let's say you have one influencer who's a client. You have another client over here who's, let's say this influencer is a fitness influencer. This person over here owns Becky's yoga mats.
Mm-hmm.
And this influencer is looking for products to help promote. And this person's looking for more sales. Do you ever cross clients like that, or do you keep them pretty independent?
We haven't done that yet. That'd be something that would be amazing to be able to do in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I think being able to, it comes down to, I think, that would be incredible. You'd be essentially a broker. But as we would scale the businesses, being able to do that would be exactly what we want to do.
Yeah, I can see that being one of your guys' next steps as you continue to grow.
That's awesome.
Because I feel like you'd be really good at, like you said, brokering that and being able to create those connections between people. I think you have the personality and the skill set for that. Another thing I wanted to touch on, because you brought it up, which I think is an important topic, you were talking about how you have these individuals who are business owners or entrepreneurs, and they started because they thought that was what they were going to love to do. You know, it was their passion, their little baby, and they wanted to see that seed, you know, blossom into these beautiful roses or whatever. And at some point, those roses started to wilt and they die and they lose their passion and stuff like that. But I think that's exactly why businesses similar to yours exist, is because you have an entrepreneur who had a great idea and they definitely should have started it, and starting it wasn't a regret. But that's like the macro idea of what they're trying to do. They love the macro idea of being a yoga mat owner. They can love that, but odds of them learning how to do paid social on Facebook, and learning how to create an e-commerce website, and learning how to build an email list, and then cold email templates to shoot out, and then learning how to do the checkout process within Shopify, and learning all that stuff that's underneath the macro idea is where your business comes in.
Yeah, because you've got this vision, and usually it's a visionary who has it, and they're like, I've got this incredible idea and I'm doing it, and then they get to a certain place where they're like, wait a second, there's all these other things that I have to do. And
Yep.
I follow Gary Vee, I like him a lot. He talks about clouds and dirt, and so a lot of people are in the clouds and they're thinking about this, and this is where they're living, but then when they have to go down in the dirt, it's like, holy shit, I have to do all this stuff, and this kind of sucks, and this is rough. And that's where I think you bring that ability for structure, and it's not really technically plug and play, but it's close, and you can help people get there so they're like, oh, I can actually see my vision coming to reality, and I'm not in the dirt. And because really, it's not really dirt; it's like mud. Like you're trudging through the mud, and it's hard. It's hard work.
While you're taking the time to learn this area of your business, you slowly are starting to build it up. But because you're a one-man band and you're building this one area, this area over here goes down, and then you go over here and you focus on the one that went down, and you start focusing on that, and then the other one goes down. Mm-hmm. And so it's really hard to be a sole entrepreneur with no team behind you, or not a big enough team to focus on the intricacies of scaling a successful business, which, of course, it's a very interesting debate to me, because I do agree, do what you love, but at the same time, I'm a really big fan of ignoring the fuck out of your emotions when it's time to get things done and execute. Because like I said, you might love the idea of being a successful business owner, and that's okay to love, but as someone who is taking on that responsibility, you don't have to learn how to love the stuff down here, but you have to learn how to get it done, whether it's you or someone else. Because that's the only way that this idea that you love can actually grow. And so that's my random rant for the day. I'm allowed one every episode. Cool, man.
And I think that's when you talk about that's the difference between mastery and doing something incredible. And you look at the people who have done incredible things and who are like the elite athletes and the top of like the best in their craft and the top 0.1% of everyone else, and they've come day in, day out, they've worked, they've perfected their craft. Are you telling me Serena Williams, every single fucking day she comes and she's like, yeah, I want to be here? No, she does it every day because she knows that this incremental growth day by day is going to put her ahead, maybe just a slight bit ahead of the 19-year-old tennis star that's rising up and wants to take her down.
Mm-hmm.
But she comes to it and she kicks ass because she's ready. And she's been ready. She's been going to work. She's doing the work. And I think that's the separation between those who actually show up day in and day out and those who are like, I'm tired. Yeah, I'm tired. We're all tired. I mean, if we're doing what we're doing.
That's exactly right.
So I think that's kind of where it comes down to. And you're right. That's when you find that and you start to just kind of chip away and build that strength. The book by David Goggins,
Can't
Hurt Me is such a powerful book because he talks about that mental strength and being able to kind of fight through that, and no matter how you feel like shit, get up. You were up till 1 a.m. working, and you wake up, you committed to waking up at 5, you get 4 hours of sleep, get up and get that shit done, because people say sleep, blah blah blah, all this stuff, but in the end, you stay consistent there, and you're gonna win. And if you really want to win, that's what you have to do.
That's right, man. That's right. You're preaching, baby. You're preaching. I love it.
I guess I'm allowed one rant too.
No, it's the truth, man. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man. That's exactly what, no matter if you already know that, it's always a great reminder this is why I have guests like you on my show, because I get to unwind what makes you tick. And it's funny sitting here listening to some of your belief system, because it's aligned so much with what I believe in. And to summarize what you just said is if you committed to something, you got to get it fucking done.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And I won't go into that anymore, but it's fun for me to have people on the show to really understand, okay, I'm not the only crazy person. I'm not the only crazy person that thinks this stuff.
Yeah.
These people that are excelling also believe in this, which is why they're also excelling. So it's just a testimony. So that's awesome. What else, man? What else? So we didn't fully finish that question I had. So in terms of your client base, fitness people, anyone else that represent?
Yeah, so e-commerce and products, and we're seeing it in some in the personal development space, and also some in the it's an interesting thing that we're doing. So we're working with e-commerce, and then another section is, how do I explain? Companies that are that need to build up an online base of users in terms of they've got brick and mortar, and the goal is to help them scale their online product to get to a place where actually they can scale enough to increase their valuation. So
do you get a lot of business that way, contacting brick and mortar?
So we have a lot of our business should very well come from paid ads. So that's kind of our process normally. If we're gonna preach hey, you should be successful in paid ads, and you should have a sales process and a sales funnel, and if we're not doing it, it kind of look ridiculous. So that's usually what we do, and we also, a lot of it is from referrals, and we can only work with a limited amount of clients because we have internal e-commerce products, and we do that too.
Mm-hmm.
And if our scaling strategy is helping X amount of companies scale, and then also scale internally as internal brands that we can grow, and we learn from helping benefit other companies grow and scale as well. So we limit that, and so we're not always doing a ton of outreach, but when we find a good fit, we're like, okay, you're a great fit, we're gonna help you get there.
I don't know your business as well. Obviously, I don't know it as well as you do, but I only know it just from the conversation today. But I want to challenge you to reach out to a couple of brick and mortar type of stores for two reasons. One is kind of what we had summarized earlier, which is you have a brick and mortar business owner who is focused on the brick and mortar, and they don't have the skill set or the manpower to actually develop an online strategy, even though everyone and their mother knows that you have to have an online strategy. So that's one reason. Second reason, a lot of these brick and mortars, compared to most individual people that have just a single product, these businesses probably have more revenue to give you.
Yeah, that's true.
So
like that.
just something to think about. I'm not saying whatsoever that what you're doing is not working, because I know it is, just something to think about. As I take a look into your business, I feel like you would be able to capture more revenue just by doing that.
I like that.
Nice, dude. Anything else? Anything else you want to share with the people? I feel like we could talk for hours.
Yeah,
man.
we
This is good
could.
stuff.
I think especially people, I'm like a lot of people watching are like wanting to live an extraordinary life. They're probably dabbling or part of entrepreneurship, like we're talking about. And I think I encourage people, even though I think it's really difficult at times to be a business owner, entrepreneur, like you kind of at times you feel like you're kind of by yourself. I think I encourage people to still like go, not just like follow your dreams, go for your dreams, but like connect with the people that are encouraging you, and also place yourself in a position to succeed by truly like making sure that you are taking those steps and executing and making sure that you're figuring out, because a long time when I started things, I was not organized at all. And I just kind of had to develop those skills. Like I had to figure it out, and I think
Because if you didn't, you wouldn't make money.
Oh no,
You'd lose a client.
Yeah, you lose a client, you lose money. Your team and employees would be unhappy. And so, one thing I would say is just make sure that you're putting together a really good plan and executing on those things. So, for you, it's like, well, you had to have a 3D rendering or whatever that looks like. You had to have the steps that you took to get to the finished product, and then that was the first section of getting your product ready, and then the next step is designing all the sales part and the branding. Like, so there's all these steps, and I think people see this whole journey, especially in entrepreneurship, especially if they're starting off, they just of themselves, and they think it's this, there is this huge downing thing. But if you take it step by step and you kind of, what traction talks about rocks, so you take this big rock and you chip away at it, and you chip away at this one rock and you get it done, then you can move on to the next big rock. And I think a lot of people see all these rocks are like, there's no way I can get here. But if you do it one by one, it's going to happen.
Right.
So
You were telling me earlier before the show, you're bringing a product to market. Is
Yes.
it too early to announce, or you want to share it?
Well, we'll be actually releasing this soon.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
It's totally up to you.
So
This is your time, my man. Tell the people what you got going on.
Okay, well, we are coming out with it's called an infinity mount, and so this little product here is a product that we're releasing. It's actually really relevant, especially Minnesota people and most, I think it's all states now. You got to have a hands-free. So it's a magnetic charger, just sticks to your phone and charges hands-free in your car. It's amazing. And I
like it. It's slick. I like the
love it.
colors.
Yeah.
The packaging's fantastic. It reminds me of the iPhones.
Yep.
You guys did a good job with that.
Yeah. So
Is it named yet, or is it still too?
So it's called the Infinity Mount.
Infinity Mount. You mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Infinity
So
Mount. Cool.
it'll be ready to go and we'll start actually selling in about 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
So from idea to market took about 90 days. And so we're trying to internally do a good job of really taking those step by steps from like idea to market quickly, and then we'll start really sharing and documenting that process of, okay, we took this idea to market, and the goal is to get it to $1 million as quickly as possible, and see that scale from there.
Is that a product that you foresee being on Amazon, or do you think you're gonna create a Shopify or ClickFunnels?
Yeah, so we already have a sales funnel built out for it, so we'll have it through ClickFunnels.
Okay.
Running ads, maybe you'll see the ad. I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
hopefully.
And
with today's technology, you say a product,
yeah,
and
right.
it's gonna pop up
It'll pop
somewhere
up
on your
like 7
TV,
seconds
or-
later. You're like, oh
exactly.
shit. Yeah, and so that'll be. It'll be something that's what we do well. We curate that customer journey. So the branding, every single part of it is really curated. So we want to control that, because we believe if you can control that whole process, you're more profitable. You help people through that journey, and you can control where, we're very like especially now, 3 seconds or something, we get distracted. So
Right.
having that ability to capture attention and bring people through a quick journey is actually important now. So people make decisions sometimes fast, sometimes they'll need to get retargeted 7 to 9 times now. But in the end, once they make a decision, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do that. And that's where Amazon wins, because it's like, okay, pay now, boom, one-click ordering. All those things are because when we make a decision, it's so fast. So we wanna make sure that process is quick and people find that need, okay, I need it, good, buy it, and then you're good. So.
That's fantastic stuff, man. Nothing but value here today. I'm impressed, man. I'm excited to see your career continue to grow and your businesses continue to grow. I think nothing but a bright future.
Appreciate it.
Last question for you.
Yes.
In terms of your legacy, how do you want to be remembered?
I think my legacy, my goal in life is to help as many people as possible come into who they're meant to be. And I talked with my team about this, but there's trees that every organism in the world, they, other than humans, grow to their full potential. And they like function fully to their full potential. Yep. But we have incredible ability to function at crazy potential, but most of us don't, because mindsets or our environment, like there's so many different parts. So if I can help as many people as possible do that, that's what I want to do. And so that's partially why I created Active Launch. And helping my sister build that business, and we've grown it. And the things I want to do is help as many people live the life that they know that they can live. And I think a big part of that, as found is in the business world, is helping founders and entrepreneurs do that.
Love it, man. Very nicely said. Where can these people follow you, and where can they find Active Launch?
So you can follow me at Daniel Okon on Instagram. And Active Launch, actually it's at Active Launch, so ACTIVLAUNCH, so no E. So you can follow there and link up there. So
fantastic. All right, my man. Appreciate you being on the show. I always mess up the accent for some reason. I always mess up the accent, but you guys get the idea. Appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of the Not So Fucking Ordinary Show. As always, we'll be on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Instagram, etc., etc. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're out. See ya. Nice, man.
Oh, that was amazing.
You did great.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Great.
Yeah.